Hello everyone, it is Christine here and I'm excited. You know, I get excited sometimes. I've got a really exciting little project collaboration exchange that one of my fabulous creative friends here on YouTube, but also in a few other domains, has come up with that I want to talk to you about. While I'm talking to you about it, I thought I'd put my Roxy Journal of Stitchery Down the Garden Path panel in front of you because I've been really busy putting all the backing bits of the panel together and I'm now ready to start stitching down each of the Roxy Journal of Stitchery pieces together. So we might do a bit of that later on, so stick around for that if you like to see the sewing and the putting together. And just, I mean, seriously, how gorgeous is this fabric? So I thought that might be nice to look at while I talk about this other exciting collaboration. So the lovely Annie Claxton from Arty Farty Annie, great name, hey? And she's a YouTuber as well, and she runs a lovely little community through a platform called Discord, and she also has a Facebook group. She is just multi-talented, Annie is, and she came up with the idea of what she's calling the Great Big Little Stitchery Swap. And it's all about people that are into slow stitch linking up with each other and agreeing to swap a 10 centimetre by 10 centimetre or 4-inch square. I must admit I'm a centimetre girl, but I know many of you are the inches, and have a small seam allowance around the outside to do whatever sort of slow stitching you want to do on it, and then you exchange that square with someone else that's creating a square for you. So I just think that's such a lovely idea because I've made such amazing connections through YouTube and with other slow stitchers as well. And I just think it would be such a magical thing to have items that other people have created from all over the world, and to be able to keep them in a special sort of treasury of them with me, as well as sending my pieces out into the world to go and join into other people's craft rooms. So I think it's just a magical idea in the sense of, linking people up and just giving people some beautiful light and excitement and some love as they open up their slow stitch squares. So I'll put all the details in the description, the link to Annie Claxton, and also the link to the video where she talks about the Great Big Little Stitchery Swap and how you can get involved and link up with more people. But the invitation I want to give to you tonight, if you're one of my watchers and one of my subscribers, is if you would like to join in and swap a square of slow stitch with me, I would absolutely love to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put my email address in the description. I just want to avoid those spammy, robot-y things that hunt out email addresses. But if you want to join in, contact me at createandcraftwithchristine, all one word, at gmail.com. And to make it easy for you, I will just write that full one word down in my description. I won't put the at gmail.com on it, but you can just copy the full one word and then you can add at gmail.com on the end of that. And that will allow you to send an email to me. And if you're sending it to me, let me know your name. If you're on, have a different name on YouTube, let me know who you are. And let me know, if you'd like to take part in a swap of a 10 centimetre by 10 centimetre or 4-inch by 4-inch square. So this is, let me just bring this over and underneath. That's the lovely Annie Claxton, who you can see hiding behind her. Well, she's not hiding behind, but she's got a 10 centimetre square or 4-inch square there with the seam allowance around the outside. And so her video that I'll link to is called the Stitchery Swap, what's it all about, and then she's got all the fabulous details of what's involved and how you can link up through her other communities with other people that want to do a swap as well. Now I'm in Australia, so if you you might want to find people closer to you if you don't want to do international postage, and if you're not in Australia, but Annie's suggesting that we'll be able to send these in the sort of flatter envelopes, so hopefully the postage shouldn't be too expensive. I'm very happy to swap with anyone anywhere in the world. I just think this is going to be such a lovely project, and I would just really like to be able to link up with those of you that have been following me and commenting and subscribing and supporting me. I'd love to send some of my work to you. And I'd love to see some of your stitchery as well. So, if you want to get in touch and set something up, contact me at createandcraftwithchristine@gmail.com, and I'll put that create and craft with Christine just as a word. I'll probably write keyword and put that down in the bottom of or in the description below this video. Now, Annie's suggesting that we all do our swaps by the end of August, but I'm happy if you want to take part, but end of August just isn't going to work for you with timing. When you send me an email, just let me know what timing works for you, and I will then reply back and we can work out a timing between us. So don't let the August deadline be a barrier. I'm happy to do this sort of on an ongoing basis. Because I'm sure new people will join in the future, and it would just be lovely to be over time assembling a little, whether it's a book of stitchery or a wall hanging or something else, where I can flip through it and look at it and just really celebrate and be joyful about the wonderful friendships and connections that I've made through this incredible journey of stitchery. So that's that. But as you can tell, I am excited. So let's now get into a bit of stitchery here. So this is the bottom panel on the second of my wall hangings, and it's my garden show panel, which I think the prompt was pot plants, but I somehow ended up with an entire garden show, including pot plants in these little picture frames, which even have I don't know if you can see that in the video, but they have a tulle that I've stitched on the front of them. So it almost makes them look like a sort of, I don't know, like a painting or something behind glass. And then these buttons are very special buttons from my Nana's collection. And then I've done some work where I've been joining different fabrics together. I've used this lace piece. I don't know if you can quite see it. Maybe you can't. I've used this lace piece across there just to kind of disguise the show. You probably couldn't actually see my Nana's buttons before, could you, when I was showing it? There they are. Sorry, shadows there. So I've got my lovely crinoline lady here, and I'll just move it up a bit more, I think, if I can, because we're going to work on this lower section down here. So I still need to stitch down this lower doily. Let me just get it a bit further. I might just move the camera up a smidgeroo, so close your eyes if you don't want to see the moving up. There's a Suffolk puff, I don't need that. And so, yeah, we're going to do a bit of stitching down of this bottom section. And so what I've done is I've got obviously the fabric that forms the backing panel. I've got something stuck under there, a clip. I've really been loving these quilting clips when I've been stitching down, because it's meant that I've needed less pins along the edges. I'm still having to use pins just to get these final bits stitched down, but it's definitely been helpful having the clips. So I'm going to use some vintage Silco thread, which is in this nice matching colour for the doily. And we're going to get that stitched down. And then over that, I'm going to have this beautiful piece of embroidery, which actually ended up being miscoloured when I put it in a load of washing with something that must have been still releasing some pinky reddy colour. So it's almost got a slight little colour wash of pink in it, but I think it actually blends in really well with the other elements. So what I'm going to do is just come through from the back with my thread. I'm going to check if you can see me on screen only just. Let me just roll my scroll a smidgeroo. Got it balanced up on the top back of the desk, so hopefully it doesn't all come tumbling down with my pin cushion, etc. And so the good thing about these sort of doilies is you can kind of move them around a little bit to get them exactly where you want them to be. I might even just reposition this one a little bit. I could probably actually just start stitching it. Don't need to add another pin back in. So yeah, very much looking forward to seeing who might want to join in the Stitchery swap. Just such a lovely idea. And even if you don't want to swap to Australia, I'm sure in Annie's various little communities, you'd find some other people that are in your part of the world. But it's hopefully a small enough piece that postage won't be too bad. I even found recently when I was sending off the prize package to the United States from my subscriber prize that it wasn't ridiculously expensive to send a small satchel, so 500 grams that I stuffed full right to the well, not stuffed, carefully placed full, but it was only about just a little bit over double sending what it would have been sending within Australia, maybe 2.5 times the price. I actually thought it was going to be a lot more expensive to send overseas, or maybe just our Australia post rates have gone up in the time that I've been sending. Don't know. So I'm just doing little stitches on the front where I just pop up and catch the doily, and then doing longer stitches on the back. So not the most interesting stitching to watch, but just thought I'd show you how you can kind of layer up different elements and just help to kind of bring together where you've got things transitioning down. And I like with this that I'll have these little bits of doily hanging off the bottom of it. Now I'll have to make sure I don't stitch with you too long tonight and get carried away, because at 10 o'clock each evening I have the premiere showing of the video for that day for the little project that I'm running, where we are creating a fabric dictionary of stitches. So we're learning new stitches or refreshing ourselves on stitches we might know, and even with common stitches like a back stitch, we're learning that there are multiple variations to them and different ways of doing them, and that people have those different ways of doing them, and then even sometimes have other variations on top of those. So it's just been fascinating. I've learnt so much already. And we've got this lovely little community. Community is a big thing. In fact, I was chatting to another YouTuber the other day, just chatting online, and I was kind of explaining why I'm here on YouTube, which I guess I hadn't actually kind of put it into words before. But for me, this is all about joining up with and finding that sense of community with like-minded spirits, basically. finding my tribe, finding those people that take joy in this slower, calm, creative, considered, supportive, collaborative world, which is exactly what I've found in the people that I've found here on YouTube, the people I've found through Roxy Journal of Stitchery. And I just feel, incredibly fortunate to have just made the most beautiful friendships, even with people. I mean, I actually haven't, of all the people that I've met through my Stitchery so far, I haven't met in person with any of them. I feel like I have, because with many of us, we're chatting daily amongst ourselves. I'm hearing or seeing them on their YouTube channels, or the people that might be commenting, they're sharing little snippets and tidbits about their days and their lives and the places they live. So you do really start to form connections and friendships. I was chatting to another stitchy friend And she said, yeah, it feels like we're friends. And I said, no, we absolutely are. You don't have to be in person with someone to form connections. And I think when you do get to know people that share that similar interest in the things that you do, yeah, you do form bonds. So I'm not sure quite how I got onto that community. That's right. Our little community around the Dictionary of Stitches. But then, yeah, as I was talking earlier, Annie Claxton, she's just created this series of amazing communities around her creative pursuits. And Annie's amazing in that she's not just a slow stitcher. I shouldn't say just a slow stitcher, but she does so many different forms of art, does amazing painting and drawing and blended works. She was sharing some videos recently where she's previously made these incredible baskets out of recycled paper and pine needles. Oh my goodness. I told her that I'm actually banned from taking on any new craft pursuits. It can only be the one that I'm already doing, because my partner keeps joking that the house has only so much load bearing capacity, and that my craft room is on the the sort of borderline of exceeding that. I don't think it is, but so anyway, I'm banned from new forms of crafting. But Annie was teasing me, saying maybe she'd put up some videos of basket making with fabric scraps. So, have we got that down? Yay, we're getting rid of needles. Not needles, pins. Not that I mind those pins too much. They don't tend to stab me as much as the other ones do. So I'll probably still put a few more stitches in down here, because it's just sort of a little bit buckling still. This vintage cotton still got its plastic on it, but I can just kind of wind the cotton out from the top section. Don't know if the plastic's actually meant to, maybe it's meant to stay on it and it will keep winding out, who knows. So yeah, with our Dictionary of Stitches, we're up to the letter B, and we're currently in the joys of the various variations of blanket stitch. So if you'd like to join us, I'm just posting one video a day. They're generally relatively short, so sort of 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes at most. And I post them as a premiere, so they go live at 10 o'clock Australian time. And when they go live, the function on YouTube where you have a premiere is that people can jump into a text-based chat, a live chat below the video, below the premiere. And that's where I have a lovely chat of an evening before I head off to bed with others that are taking part, or some people are just watching it and they'll probably do the stitching a bit later on. Anyone's welcome. As I've said to people, no pressure. If you just want to watch, that's fine. If you want to do some of the stitches, that's fine. No pressure at all. Do it at your own pace. Pick and choose. There's no stitchery police on my channel. And they're just a lovely little encouraging bunch of folks. And I just love it. And it's great for me because I had said that I was getting into a real rut of doing the same stitches over and over again. So this has really, I guess, reignited my my passion for different stitches and just discovering what's out there. I think one of my favourites so far has been the Ainu running stitch, which is a stitch that's done by an ethnic community in Japan. And it's quite simple. It's quite a simple stitch, but then you can just make it gorgeously ornate by using various colours in it, so 2 colours, and then also adding beading to it, and it's just so very pretty. So I'm definitely using that one. And then last night we had the pinwheel stitch, which I think looks a bit like a Ferris wheel. The lovely Michelle said, yeah, it looks like a lemon or orange slice. What were some of the other thoughts of what it looked like? I've forgotten now. But yeah, it'd be great to use for flowers. I think that's what the book, that's sort of the broad guide for this project, the A to Z of embroidery stitches. I think that's what it suggests it could be used for. I'll just move this up a smidge so I stay in the screen. So I can't wait to get these hung up as well. I think they're probably going to be projects where I'll continue to maybe add to them. Like I could always do some fabric over stitching on the flowers, but I think for now I'll get them all stitched down, let them hang, and then I can gradually add to them over time if that's something I want to do. Who knows, even with the next Roxy Journal of Stitchery project, I may even use one of these as a base for one of the projects. Who knows? I think that's the lovely thing about slow stitch. You can sometimes keep adding to it. You sort of finish it and then you can go, oh yeah, you know what, I'm going to put a little Suffolk puff on that, or I'm going to put that little bit of amazing vintage lace that I've just found onto that. So very curious to see what approach our Roxy ladies are going to take to the next project, so to the treasure hunt, and what sort of prompts they're going to be surprising us with. But I like a surprise, so I'm not sort of, I haven't actually prepared anything beyond making my mood boards for that project. And then I packed away all the sort of things I used in the mood boards just in a box. And then as I've been going through and pulling out goodies for other things, I've just been, grabbing a few more things out of my stash. But there's still probably a lot more that can be brought out. But until the project starts, I figure I'll let it just sit, and then I'll see where my imagination takes me when we get that first prompt. But it's been so lovely seeing the sorts of mood boards or ideas that others are sharing. I was watching the lovely Tia from Calm Creations. Let me just get her name as well. From Calm Creations, so Tia from Calm Creations, and she's making this incredible rainbow sort of wash of colour lookbook, she's calling her one. So go and check her out as well. I'll try to remember to leave a link to her in the chat, not in the chat, in the description below. My goodness, I'm running out of words, or mixing up my words. So I like how this doily kind of blends in with this piece of embroidery on here, so it kind of extends out that path feature. So it's fun when you're working with different layers and materials, kind of looking for the echoes in them can be really helpful to have pieces kind of come together. Further up in this piece, I've used another piece of very vintage, I guess it's a doily, but it's in a more angular design, and I've used the triangle to echo the intro into the next piece, which is my Chateau vegetable garden piece. So I'll do another video once all of these bits are stitched down where I'll show you from top to bottom. I've also made, have I got it still here, or have I? Yes, I think it's here underneath. Various beads and other goodies, but let me just show you. Oops, got threads caught to my fingers now. So this will be the header for this panel, which is a blue section, because the first panel is down the garden path, and then this panel will be of my mind's eye, so that will be right up the top across from where the other heading is. And I've just done that using my little hexagons from Epiflex, and I just love it. They just make the most wonderful little hexies. So I might not keep you too long. I've already been chatting away for 24 minutes, which is probably enough of me just sort of stitching down The doily, just to show you a few other things I've done though, is I've folded over the doily and sat it under this embroidery piece. And so I'm going to have it just sort of going up to where the path is. Where I've got my crinoline lady, lucky I hadn't actually stitched her down, so I can just have the doily sort of extend up to where the path is there, and then having it extending back up sort of here, and I'll probably even bring it a bit further over, so it just sort of, yeah, then blends in, and then I'll be stitching, yeah, just doing over stitch all the way around this piece here to blend that into the background, and just stitching down along here and then around there. And then I'll start to stitch down all of the pieces going up the panel or working the way down, whichever way, and just making sure they are square as well. I like to use, when I'm doing that, my sort of square ruler. I just find it helps me to then sort of lay it flat against a side or a side there, and then make sure that it measures the same measurement going down, because you don't want it to be super crooked. I'm fine if it's got a little bit, like I'm not going to try and get it absolutely precise like graph paper, but I just want it to look right to the eye when it's hanging up on my craft room cupboards. So I hope you enjoyed that little glimpse of this piece. I would love to hear from you if you'd like to take part in the slow stitch swap. So just email me, and yeah, if you can't do the sort of the end of August deadline that Annie talks about, for me, I'm happy to do it at whatever timing works for you. So just let me know, and just, yeah, remember I'm in Australia, but I'm happy to swap with anyone anywhere in the world where I can send post to, which I think should be anywhere in the world these days. So take care everyone, and see you soon. Bye.